Hey everyone, it's LuckyChewy for Octopi Poker, and today I wanted to do a slightly different video and explore in more depth some philosophical ideas which have, if I do say so myself, some pretty significant overlap to success in poker. So I was recently introduced to this idea of what you can see here, Anekantavada, if I'm saying that correctly, or the relativity of views. And I'll just kind of read this, initial paragraph, and then we can jump into discussing it. In classical Indian world, Jains, Buddhists, and Hindus fiercely debated the nature of reality. Classic, timeless kind of discussion. The Jain position argues for a broad view called Anekantavada, no one perspectivism, resisting philosophical dogmatism and recognizing the good qualities of many different points of view. And the reason that this jumped out at me when I first heard it and why I wanted to discuss it in the context of poker is because if we think about what makes one person successful at poker and one person less successful, it's really just the ways that they are perceiving what is happening in any given moment at the table in completely asymmetrical ways. So if I understand strategic components of the game and know what types of bets make sense based on different compositions of ranges, that's going to give me an advantage. If you understand, certain things about the ways in which player tendencies are altered because of previous hands, or how stages of the tournament affect different risk preferences or what have you, then that's going to give you an advantage, right? So there's all kinds of different mechanisms by which seeing truth essentially are going to have material benefits or drawbacks in your actual success playing poker. And I'll have a link to this in the video description. But this one particular paragraph I thought did a really good job here of describing kind of the essence of why this is useful. So a well-known story in Jain mythology helps to illustrate Anekantavada. Five blind men have never seen an elephant. One day the elephant is brought into the village. The five approach, touch, and attempt to describe it. One man who is standing by the trunk describes it as a thick branch of a tree. The man who feels the tail disagrees, insisting it is like a rope. The one who touches the side in turn submits that the elephant is actually like a great wall. The man at the elephant's leg says it's like a pillar, and the man who gets a hold of the ear describes it as a huge fan. Luckily, a wise sixth man is nearby to mitigate the dispute. He proclaims that in fact all are right, but only partially right. An accurate description of the elephant lies in combining the various partial views. Consequently, a complete understanding of any truth requires the consideration and acceptance of a variety of viewpoints. So we see this constantly at the poker table, and I would imagine that everybody watching this has experienced it themselves. I think one main aspect that holds back beginner players is they have a portion of that truth well fleshed out, and they're fully tunneled on it. And, this happens sometimes when we learn new ideas, like let's say three betting, for example. I know when I first learned kind of the power of three betting, I was fully focused on that, and it overwhelmed my other faculties and capabilities in terms of playing. I was too focused on just like using this new shiny tool that I had acquired. This can also happen in a more subtle way, where, somebody just sees like a nervous tick of their opponent. Maybe it's something that contributes to the strength of their hand, or maybe it's something that was related to something else. The point here is that, at the poker table, there are many aspects of truth, and the more perspectives we can see, just as these, blind men sort of all had a different aspect of truth of what this elephant was, we benefit greatly by being able to, as best as possible, see all perspectives. And this is particularly true for players who are very quick to discount the viewpoint of somebody who they deem as a lesser player, or somebody who doesn't really understand what's going on. Particularly for players who are having success in any respect of the game, there's going to be something to take away from them. And even if they're not, there's still something to be understood about the ways in which they're thinking about the game. So even sort of, the hypothetical worst poker player on earth has something to teach us, even if it's simply just that what they're doing doesn't make sense, and understanding why they're doing it. Because understanding the motivations by which players make flawed decisions allows you to understand their thought process better, and as a byproduct, essentially win more EV from them when you understand ultimately what is driving their choices. A lot of this gets into how to optimally size your value bets, what hands to bluff with, what situations, and so forth. There's always to me, there always has to be a practical aspect of all of this, or it, quite quickly falls apart and loses any relevance. But yeah, I thought this was a really useful quality, and I'm curious if people enjoy this kind of philosophical poker, merging of worlds, and if so, please let me know, and I will continue to make more of these. So that's all for now. Take care. Best wishes and best of luck, everybody. Peace.